Good evening, fans and fanatics, and welcome to GRW News. I am your host, The Gifted One, and tonight we'll be doing a recap on Friday night's SmackDown. My co-host and colleague, Baby Terminator, is not available this evening. He is currently recharging his batteries for a good night rest. So now, we're going to take it away and begin the show. So, we kick off the show with Daniel Bryan coming down to the ring, and he is just bragging about what he's going to do come Money in the Bank. As we all know, Daniel Bryan has been teaming up with Drew Gulak. He is his so-called coach. But to no avail, Drew Gulak has been unsuccessful in gaining a place at Money in the Bank. So while Daniel Bryan is out in the ring, ramping and trying to get the Yes movement going, talking about the events that will transpire come Money in the Bank, he rudely gets interrupted by none other than King Corbin. Now, King Corbin, as you know, lately has been feuding with Daniel Bryan. After his long feud that he had with Roman Reigns that drug on for months, I'm glad they finally put a cap in that one, recently taking out Elias, damaging Elias's hand, also hitting him with the scepter backstage, so he's been showing a lot of aggressiveness for these past coming up weeks. He also has qualified in Money in the Bank. But now, this leads up to a match between the both of them. They get into the ring. Now, mind you, Daniel Bryan is trying to seek some type of redemption for the physical and brutal assault that King Corbin gave his boy, Drew Gulak. So, these guys have a hard-hitting match. They're going back and forth. King Corbin is pointing up to the briefcase at Money in the Bank because I'm not sure if you guys remember correctly, when King Corbin did become a Money in the Bank holder, he squandered that opportunity, which he was unsuccessful when he cashed in his Money in the Bank contract. So, they both have a technical match. Daniel Bryan is putting him in submissions. King Corbin also puts him in submissions as well, practicing the arm bar, trying to damage Daniel Bryan's arm so he will not lock him in the label. And they take it outside. They get physical. King Corbin is throwing him against the ring post there outside of the ring. And still, as you see, he has him roped up in the corner, trying to damage the arm further with the top rope. But Daniel Bryan mounts some offense and gets him off of him. So he has him in a label lock after the ladder got introduced. And who else comes out? Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro to aid Baron Corbin. So Daniel Bryan wins the match by disqualification, but it doesn't matter because they take him outside, they pummel him viciously, and toss him into some ladders outside off of the ramp area. So this is just a preview for the carnage that is going to occur at Money in the Bank. Moving on, the Universal Champion Braun Strowman comes out, and as you guys currently know, he has a small feud going on with Bray Wyatt, which will be defending his Universal Championship come Money in the Bank. But as he's speaking, Bray Wyatt comes on the Titantron, and he's reading this book called The Black Sheep. So now, I'm not sure if you guys remember, but when Braun first debuted, he was known as the Black Sheep, part of the Wyatt family. So Bray's kind of playing these mind games with him, trying to get into his head. And in my opinion, I believe that Braun will be unsuccessful holding on to his championship come Money in the Bank, unless Vince McMahon throws a monkey wrench in it and ruins it for Bray Wyatt. But as you all know, if he comes out as The Fiend, there will be no stopping The Fiend from regaining that championship. Moving on, Sheamus comes out and he's having a match with some guy named Leon Ruff. He's a jobber, an upstart. I don't know where this guy came from, but he definitely shouldn't have been in the ring with the Celtic Warrior. The way the Celtic Warrior has been viciously attacking these jobbers lately, it's a shame. Somebody should put some real competition in this man's face so he can have a real strong fight, a real battle to really test his limits to see how he is now that he's come back from injury, and he's looking better than ever. He's in great physical condition. He seems a lot stronger, he seems a lot faster, and his attitude is way meaner, guys. He beats this guy up, throws him outside of the ring, then grabs him by his head, hits him with the 10 beats of the Balor, brings him back into the ring to ultimately give him a bro kick and finish the night off. Then after the match, as everybody's aware, Matt Hardy, they've been showing some things about Jeff Hardy, excuse me. They've been showing these videos of Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy's been battling addiction in the past. He's also been battling his own demons where he suffered multiple injuries because he's an extremist. He's a daredevil. He's an adrenaline junkie. And Michael Cole's kind of glorifying Jeff Hardy, and Sheamus feels as though that they shouldn't be glorifying somebody who was battling with addiction. Not saying that those people who are struggling with addiction is something wrong, but if you are, you should seek the proper help and get better. So Sheamus is ultimately setting up for a match with Jeff Hardy. So Jeff Hardy, be ready for Sheamus. I hope you're healthier than you were back a couple months ago before you got injured and you went through your whole debacle. So let's see what you have in store for Sheamus when you come back. Moving on, we have a women's Money in the Bank qualifying match between Miss Money Mella and God's gift to the earth, Mandy Rose. Now, they have a good match. Mandy and Carmella, I feel as though, they're kind of trying to figure each other's chemistry out in the ring. They really was kind of cautious, in my opinion, throughout the match. And what can you expect? When you're really not in the ring with someone, you really don't know how you guys are going to match, so you got to be extra cautious so you don't injure your person that you're wrestling with. But to no avail. They have a great match, in my opinion. Mandy Rose is getting a push. Carmella's getting a push. So, in the middle of the match, Sonya Deville comes out and distracts Mandy Rose. Now, Mandy tries to keep her composure, and she tries to continue with the match. But, to no avail, Carmella mounts up some offense, starts striking Mandy around, and ultimately Mandy gives in and addresses Sonya Deville to turn around and get super kicked in the face for Mella to pick up the victory and move on to the Money in the Bank ladder match. There she is, Miss Mella's Money, celebrating. As you guys know, she is a former SmackDown Women's Champion. She's also a former Money in the Bank holder. So she kind of has the experience going forward within this match. Let's see how it plays out for Carmella. Then, after that, Sonya Deville brutally assaults Mandy Rose. I mean, brutally, guys. I was like, oh my goodness gracious. Holy chihuahuas. The assault was so vicious. She was taking her outside, throwing her against the steel steps and everything like that. Mandy kind of suffered a minor thigh injury where Otis went to the back and checked up on her. And then the zigzag, Dolph Ziggler, was back there as well, trying to make sure that Mandy was well. But the blue collar man, Otis, is not having that. That is his peach, and leave his peach alone. So, after everything, the referee pulls Sonya Deville off of Mandy, and things are crazy. I think this is going to be a setup for a feud going on with Mandy and Sonya come Money in the Bank. So we got to stay tuned to Money in the Bank and see how that turns out, guys. Then we have the New Day against the Forgotten Sons. Now, as I stated in my last video, the Forgotten Sons absolutely laid waste to the New Day. They came out, they just came from NXT. They came out of there and they were attacking the New Day. But the New Day was trying to set up some retribution this week. And it was a hard-hitting match, guys. Big E did his thing. Kofi did his thing. But the guys from the Forgotten Sons, you can't keep those guys down. They're Marines. They're strong. They've been through wars. So, hey, it's just another day in the office for them. Big E comes out with the splash like he normally does off the apron. Kind of softening up the guys from Forgotten Sons. But with the double teaming and everything like that between Kofi and Big E. But the Forgotten Sons mount a comeback. These guys, like I said, they're resilient. They're diving outside of the ring. I mean, you see him standing over Big E's neck, on his back with his neck on a rope, trying to choke him out. And Riker is sitting out there talking crap. So he has him in the clutch, inflicting more punishment on Big E. And these guys start going to work. They start double teaming Kofi. Kofi's the smaller man out of the New Day. Big E's the muscle. All three of the Forgotten Sons, all three of them guys hold their weight. And when they work together as a cohesive unit, in my opinion, this will be the tag team to beat. If giving the right push, I believe that the Forgotten Sons can become SmackDown Tag Team Champions and reign as SmackDown Tag Team Champions for a long time. It all depends on their booking. Leave your comments below and tell me what you guys think about that. So, Riker gets involved, smashes Big E on the outside into the turnpost. Big E now is out of commission, and they just go to work on Kofi. They start double teaming Kofi because Big E is out of the equation. Then they hit him with the finishing maneuver, Forgotten No More. They end up picking up an impressive victory over the tag team champions. So we have the former tag team champions, Miz and Morrison, outside on commentary. Be Jealous, one of the greatest tag teams of the millennium. And they're actually applauding the Forgotten Sons for their performance. I mean, for this being like their third match on SmackDown, going up against the tag team champions, they really had something to prove, and they proved it. So then, main event, we have Otis and Dolph Ziggler. Now, this is also a Money in the Bank qualifying match. As you guys are well aware, Otis has been feuding with Dolph Ziggler since Valentine's Day, guys. That's right, since Valentine's Day, because Dolph tried to swoop in and steal his delicious peach. But no. Otis is not having that. And Otis went to work, beating Dolph up. He faced Dolph at WrestleMania, won at WrestleMania. So now the stakes are even higher. This Money in the Bank ladder match is a big opportunity for Otis if he can become victorious and win that Money in the Bank contract. But the match goes back and forth. Otis puts some offense. Dolph hits him with some offense. Taking him outside, throwing him against the barricade, trying to soften Otis up, because you know Otis is a pretty big guy compared to Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler, in my opinion, he's a Shawn Michaels wannabe. He needs to come up with a new gimmick. Maybe use a different finisher instead of the super kick. You're not HBK, buddy. You're not HBK. So then he hits Otis with a drop kick. And Otis, you know, he kind of like shakes it off. And he puts him in a choke from the back, trying to get Otis to submit in some type of sleeper hold. But Otis isn't going to stay down. He's blue collar tough. He eats steaks and lift weights. Then Otis rallies back, hitting Dolph with the clothesline, setting Dolph up ultimately for his compactor press, and finishing Dolph Ziggler off. Dolph Ziggler actually loses the match to Otis, and Otis moves on to Money in the Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so happy for this man. This man has been treated like dirt thus far since he's come into the WWE. I believe this is a good push that you guys are giving him. That storyline with him and Mandy is phenomenal, because it shows that it doesn't matter about the looks, it's about what's on the inside. That's right, you heard it here first at GRW, Gifted Radical Wrestling News. You heard it here first. And guys, that is the end of the recap. If you guys like what you see on the channel, make sure you give me a like, a thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell so you guys will be notified when I drop new content. Make sure you leave your comments below. Till next time, I am the Gifted One, and this is GRW Wrestling Recap News, and I'm out.